Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coon Rapids Sports Field for today's coverage. CTN Sports covering the Twin Cities Suburban Conference. Tonight, the Cardinals welcome the Mounds View Mustangs in a cross-conference game. Joe Young and Howie Shapiro with you for the game. And Howie, you couldn't have asked for a nicer day.
Well, Joe, I was just talking to some people in the stands, and it's a good enough day to play two, but we're fortunate to get one in because the weather has been so poor. And you look at the opportunity. Mounds View has played 5 games already this year. Cardinals have just got 2 in so far, so it should be an interesting. We have a great pitching matchup tonight. It should be an interesting game.
Absolutely. On the mound for the Cardinals will be their head ace, Chad Drexler, who is a Division I prospect, already signed with the Minnesota Gophers. And on the mound for Mounds View will be Grassley, who is also a Division I prospect. And one of the Mounds View coaches, actually, I was talking to before the game, he said, we might see a quick one here today.
Very possible. It could be a quick game here. And you mentioned that Grassley is a Division I. He did sign with Creighton. That's where he's going to be pitching next year. He's coming off a all-conference, all-region, all-state honorable mention season from last year.
Let's look at our umpires, Wayne Lundstrom and Tim Bretsky, brushing off the plate. Cardinals heading out into the field. They will start in defense, obviously, because they are the home team. In the outfield from left to right is Dan Anderson, JUBRIL, AKINWALE, and Ryan Wilson. The infield from third to first is Joey Olson, Dustin Wolf, Eric Hughes, Mike Patterson. Behind the plate is Tom Newman, and as we mentioned, on the mound is number 11, Chad Drexler.
These two teams have a common opponent so far this year. The Mustangs are coming off a victory over Osseo 6-3. Osseo dealt the Cardinals their only loss so far this season. So Coach Schwartz told me they really played poorly in this game in their victory against Osseo, and they want to come out here. They know it's stiff competition. They want to have a good game here this afternoon.
And, of course, also in that Osseo game, the Cardinals without several key players, including that man right there, Chad Drexler, who several of their players out on ineligibility, out on rules violations for the first couple of games of the seasons. They are now back, and the Cardinals looked pretty good earlier this week when they took on Champlin Park.
Well, they're coming off a 13-hit performance against Champlin Park. They scored 9 runs, and certainly that's something that they want to build from. They want to continue not only with their ace on the mound today, but continue that good hitting. The Drexler was 3 for 4, a home run, 3 runs, 2 second base hit, and 3 RBI. Ryan Wilson was 2 for 2 that game, a double, a run, and an RBI. So obviously they want to continue this.
Take a look at the Mustangs lineup, how they are going to start in the batting order. There's a look at head coach Chris Schwartz leading his team into battle, their 6th game. The first baseman, Tony Bolio, will lead off with Joe CERONSKY, Dan GENUNG, and Josh Howard hitting cleanup from the third base position. Left field is Andy Peters and Don Eustace. Pete WEIDEWITSCH and Brad Baglien make up the second 4, and Joe DOERER will be the DH hitting for Grassley in the cleanup spot.
Coach Schwartz is in his 3rd year for the Mustangs. He's got a 30-15 overall record. Last time these two teams met was in the tournament, and Mounds View was a 5-1 winner. So obviously Cardinals remember that game.
And here's a look at Andy Peters stepping in as the first batter of the ball game, a lefty. And we'll see how the Cardinals deal with a powerful Mustang lineup. And we are just about ready. The umpire gives the signal, and Drexler throws the first pitch outside ball 1.
We're going to see Drexler come with a lot of heat here this afternoon.
Not wasting a lot of time. That one called strike 1. Evens the count at 1-1. Off-speed pitch, fouled away on the third base line, 1-2.
Now Chad took something off that pitch, pulled the strings on it a little bit. Peters was looking for that high heat.
That one hit right back up the middle. Drexler knocks it down but can't get to it. The throw is behind first base, but Peters will hold up at first.
Well, that's a play that probably should not have been thrown. Fortunately for the Cardinals, it did not advance the base runner, but he wasn't going to get the runner anyway. He should have just held on to that ball.
But since the runner did not advance, it's not a charged error. A single to lead things off for Andy Peters brings up Josh Howard.
A good play by Tom Newman, backing that up, making sure that Peters was not going to go anywhere.
And Drexler really almost had it on the quick reaction. He tried to grab it with the bare hand, at least had a chance to slow it down a little bit, just couldn't quite grab it. And now Peters taking a big lead off first base. The first pitch to Howard is inside, ball one. Newman steps out and makes sure that Peters stays honest.
Well, Peters not getting much of a lead on first. They're playing him close.
Mike Patterson there to hold him on first base. Taking about a 3-step lead. Drexler will pitch, and that's fouled down the right field line. Peters was off on the hit and run, but a foul ball will bring him back to first base.
Now, that been fair, that quite possibly may have scored a run. Peters had a nice jump on the ball. Howard not getting enough of it, obviously, to keep it fair.
Howard trying to keep it down the right field line, trying to get it in the corner, which definitely would have made it a tough throw to get Peters from coming all the way around. 1-1 the count to Howard. Man on first base, nobody out. Drexler will check him at first base. He slides back in safe.
Well, Chad's keeping an honest eye on Peters over at first. Obviously, Peters ran on that last pitch. They want to make sure he doesn't get too good of a jump if he is going to try and steal.
There's the pitch. This one popped up. Foul. Patterson calls everyone off and makes the catch.
Nice pitching by Drexler to keep it inside, having him foul that last couple of pitches off. The second one being a foul pop up to Patterson.
That'll bring up the center fielder, Don Eustace. Another left-handed hitter. Once again, Peters taking about a 3-step lead off of first base. One out, and the pitch is low and outside, ball one. Once again, they check Peters at the base. He slides back in safe. Keeping him a little honest. He's only taken about 2.5 steps now. The pitch is outside for ball two.
Well, Chad has a nice move over to first base, so obviously Peters was aware of that, and he's not going to get too big a jump because the last thing he wants to do is get picked off at first.
That one right down the middle, hit right back up to center field. Peters will round second, going for third. AKINWALE throws it into Wolf, and Peters will be given the stop sign at third base. So with one out, we have runners at the corner.
Oh, that was a nice pitch to hit, absolutely. Up the middle, there was no obviously chance for anything to be caught. And AKINWALE made a nice play to get the ball back into the infield to keep the runner at third.
That'll bring up the catcher, Brad Baglien, with one out and runners at the corners. Certainly not how the Cardinals wanted to start out here in the top of the first.
Well, Cardinals are typically a slow starting team, but certainly not against this team. They don't want to get behind.
That one right down the middle, strike one.
Baglien was named All-Conference Honorable Mention and All-Region last year, coming off last year's finish as State Class AA co-consolation champs.
That one is called strike two, caught the inside corner of the plate. 0-2 the count to Baglien with one out and runners at the corner in the top of the first.
Drexler got that pitch to sink a little bit.
That one right down the middle, called strike three.
That is a big strikeout for Chad Drexler. Now all he has to do is concentrate on the batter, not worry about the base runners. With two away, get out of this inning with no damage. Big stick coming up, though.
A lot of lefties in the lineup for Mounds View, their fifth hitter, their third lefty at the plate. All three lefties have hit against Drexler.
WEIDEWITSCH is a big kid, and we've seen him put one out before.
With two out now and runners at the corners, top of the first. Chad Drexler trying to work his way out of a jam. First pitch, low and away for a ball.
Looks like Chad is trying to stay outside the plate rather than come inside to WEIDEWITSCH.
That one right down the middle, and Newman quickly up, making sure that Eustace does not make a move for second base. One and one the count. That one confused our home base umpire, called it 0 for 2 there for a second until WEIDEWITSCH said, wait a minute. On that first one, a ball. Said, oh yeah.
I think so.
Oh yeah. 1 and 1. That one just a little bit low, ball 2.
Chad tried to bring that out again outside a little bit, but missed the corner. And down a little low, as you said.
That one popped back up over the backstop. We'll even the count at 2 and 2.
Now that with this pitch, Drexler is in control. He can maybe pull the string a little bit, see if he can get WEIDEWITSCH swinging. Pete may be thinking that fastball coming down.
Eustace steals second base.
Now with a full count, Chad has to make this pitch count.
Certainly don't want to load the bases.
Nope.
Tony Bolio, the first baseman, on deck, and that one's fouled off behind the home plate, or the home team dugout, rather. So WEIDEWITSCH stays alive. Runners at second and third with 2 outs and a 3-2 count to WEIDEWITSCH in the top of the first. That one drilled to left field. Getting under it is Dan Anderson. On the run, makes the grab, and the Cardinals work their way out of a jam.
And that was a big opportunity for Mounds to get on top, and Drexler settled down, obviously. Not that he was pitching poorly at all, but certainly getting out of that inning with no runs scored is very important for the Cardinals.
So the Mustangs get 2 hits, but leave both on. Strand them at second and third base, and they run out to take the field. Take a look at how they line up in the outfield. As you see, Coach Jerry Coe having a word with, I think that's JUBRIL AKINWALE, the center fielder. Take a look at how the Mustangs line up out in the field. In the outfield from left to right is Andy Peters, Don Eustace, and Pete WEIDEWITSCH. Infield from third to first is Josh Howard, Dan GENUNG, the shortstop, Joe CERONSKY, and Tony Bolio. Behind the plate is Brad Baglien, and the man we've already talked quite a bit about on the mound, Steve Grassley, number 7.
Yeah, you know, we talked about the fact that the Cardinals didn't need to get behind. When you've got a pitcher on the mound on both these squads, but a pitcher here that you're going to face against Mounds, getting behind is not to their advantage. Obviously, they're going to want to try and get as many base runners as possible, but I believe, Joe, that he has in 12 innings, I believe it's 26 strikeouts so far this season.
Take a look at how the Cardinals will start off. As you see Coach Jerry Coe on the third base line, and there he is leading his team into action. The shortstop, Dustin Wolf, a good contact hitter, leading things off. Eric Hughes, the second baseman. Then Chad Drexler and Mike Patterson hitting cleanup. Dan Anderson, JUBRIL AKINWALE, Joey Olson, and Ryan Wilson make up the second 4, and the catcher, Tommy Newman, will round out the order.
We're not going to see a DH, obviously, for the Cardinals today. Chad Drexler, a good hitter, and they need his stick in the lineup.
Last warm-up pitch, you see Baglien's throw to second. A little bit to the wrong side of the bag for Dan GENUNG, but
that was practice, Joe. There's no base runner there.
That's correct. Well, maybe it was the right side if they were trying to get the guy back from second base.
Very possible.
Running to third.
Got to work those situations.
That's correct. Thanks for keeping me honest, Howie.
Well, you know, it's my job.
Dustin Wolf was 2 for 5 in the game against Champlain Park, scored a run. He watches strike one.
We talked about Dustin. Coach Coe said that Dustin certainly is a player who has a love for this game. He just hustles every opportunity, whether it's practice or in a game.
Takes a good cut at it, chopped to the third baseman, Howard to Bolio, and that is out number 1.
Took a high chop. Howard made a nice play on the ball, had a nice gun from over at third base to throw out Wolf.
That'll bring up Eric Hughes, the second baseman. First pitch is called strike against Hughes. Hughes was 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored against Champlain. Watches ball 1. Evens count at 1-1.
Pitch down a little low.
Swung on and missed, strike 2.
He definitely threw some heat by him there.
Chad Drexler, the pitcher, on deck for Coon Rapids. The 1-2 pitch to Eric Hughes with 1 out and nobody on. Swings at it, chopped foul on the third base line.
Wind not much of a factor here. We're going to see if these players can drive the ball at all. Against these two pitchers, that may be a little bit difficult.
Certainly the Cardinals want to keep Grassley throwing as much as possible as he gets Hughes to go down swinging. Drexler ended up throwing 20 pitches in that first inning. So far through 2 batters, only 8 pitches thrown by Grassley.
Coach Schwartz will obviously have to be happy with that statistic. If he can get the outs, as little pitching as possible, that's where he wants. I think he pitched a couple innings against Osseo, his last outing.
Once again, the first pitch is right down the middle for strike 1.
Pitch comes off his arm, looking like it's going to go a little bit high, and then drops as it gets towards the batter.
This one rips to the left side of the infield, picked up by GENUNG. The throw to Bolio, rather, and that will end the inning. The Cardinals go up 1-2-3 and go down. We'll take a short break after 1 with no runs scored, a couple of hits for the Mustangs. We'll be back with the second inning after this.
We all agree it's true. The world has got a major job to do. If we might just review, it's up to me, it's up to you.
We don't deny reliance on every home appliance, but let's show some defiance.
Here's the cue.
Unplug 'em if you're through.
If you should show derision for what's on television,
Just make a smart decision.
No one will scoff if you just turn it off.
Please don't waste energy.
Chad Drexler throwing twice as many pitches in that first inning as his opponent, Steve Grassley. Grassley getting out of the inning in just 9 pitches, and that is pretty much exactly what you want, Howie.
Absolutely, and obviously Chad wants to work on the ability not to throw so many pitches in this next inning. And, you know, you get to the point where you get a batter at full count and you get a couple of hits in the inning, and you start, at this point, you don't want to throw your arm out too early.
Well, it's about time we finally got a baseball game in this season, but we will be trying to do our second softball game of the season coming up on Friday when the Cardinals take on the Anoka Tornadoes after a rain delay last week.
And they will travel to Anoka for that game. Be a road game, Joe. Take the show on the road.
Tony Bolio leads off the second inning. First pitch is low and inside for ball one.
Last time we did a baseball game about this time, we had quite a bit of snow falling.
A little bit. Second one, a little bit high, ball two.
Looks a little bit to me like Chad's trying to force some things here, and that's certainly not his game.
Yeah, not too surprising. There are a few more fans here than there were at that Hopkins game when it was blizzard conditions.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's a little, not so surprising to me. 3-0. That one called strike one.
Bolio thought that was a ball. He was getting ready to take off to first for the walk.
That is ball four. And the first walk of the game goes against Chad Drexler.
Well, that's 5 pitches already to the first batter and putting the man on first with no one out. Certainly not what you want to do.
That'll bring up the shortstop, Dan GENUNG, with nobody out and the runner on first base.
We saw Dan has a nice arm in the field. We'll see what he can do at the plate.
Drexler keeping Bolio honest. Nice glove by Mike Patterson to keep that one from getting behind him.
Ball was just almost a little outside that throw to first.
That one is right down the middle, strike one.
Not only was it right down the middle, but it had quite a bit of heat behind it.
0-1.
GENUNG taking a look over at head coach Chris Schwartz, getting the signs.
That one fouled back. Strike two.
Chad is where he wants to be against GENUNG. 2 strikes.
The DH, Joe DOERER, on deck for the Mustangs. Drexler will check on Bolio over at first base again. DOERER going to be the 4th lefty in the lineup for the Mustangs. That good fastball down the middle called strike three.
That rings him up. You know, anytime
That's Dan's second strikeout, both called strike threes and both on 3 pitches.
Well,
just an interesting fact.
It is. It's a fun fact as we take another look at this. Getting him on that called 3rd strike. You know, Joe, you mentioned about the left-hander. Anytime you can put a 4 or 5 left-handers up in a lineup, it provides a different dimension to your team. You don't see that many lefties in a lineup.
Once again, checking Bolio at first base. First pitch is high and outside, ball one. Bolio isn't going to get a huge lead off at all. I suppose he's out about 2.5 steps now. Drexler keeping a sharp eye on him and throwing the heat right down the middle for strike one.
It doesn't look too much like he is going to actually take that chance at a stolen base, but he's getting enough of a lead where if he gets a hit, he's going to be able to advance to maybe take an extra base.
1-1 the count to DOERER. Bolio on first base with 1 out, swing and a miss, strike two.
Nice, some high heat by Chad.
Once again, checking on Bolio at first base. 1-2 is the count to Joe DOERER at the plate. 1 out and 1 on. Top of the second, that one fouled back behind the backstop, and DOERER will stay alive.
They're getting Chad obviously to work in the pitch count here, throwing him, keeping himself alive by fouling pitches off. Obviously, Chad would like to try and get out of this inning with as little amount of pitches thrown as possible.
And although we don't count them into the pitch count, of course, the throws to first base are also a little taxing on the arm.
Absolutely.
Not quite as much. That one fouled just over our heads. Once again, he'll stay alive.
Joe, if you had stood up, you may be able to grab that one.
Now, if I catch it, would it be an out?
In your mind. Only.
One and two, the count. Once again, the toss to first, checking on Bolio.
Plane flies overhead. Nice aerial view for that pilot.
Some low air traffic.
Could be a scout from the Twins.
I'm counting it. That one just outside, ball two.
That pitch was just outside, too. I think that...
and Newman held it there just to make sure the ump knew where he caught that ball.
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth, Tom. Obviously had it there, felt it was a strike.
Maybe even moved it a little back towards the center. This one ripped right to Eric Hughes at second base. The toss to second, but to first is not in time. But they get the leadoff runner.
And it was a nice stretch by Patterson over at first base. Good athletic play. But obviously the important part is they got the lead runner. Take another look at that. Nice scoop by Hughes. Gets it over to Wolf. Wolf's throw is going to take Patterson just a little bit off the bag. But we watched the scoop, and it was a nice one.
Not a bad looking turn. Cardinals turned a couple of double plays in the game against Chaplin Park as the first pitch is a called strike. Turned two double plays on Monday. It's Joe CERONSKY, the second baseman, at the plate with two out and a runner on first. Second pitch is low, ball one.
CERONSKY looked like he was maybe going to go after that pitch, but thought better of it. As he looks over to Chris Schwartz, head coach, gets the signs as he goes back into the batter's box.
That one popped up down the right field line. Running in on it is Ryan Wilson, but it is foul. That will go in and strike two.
Wilson playing, shading off a little more towards center than the foul line. Had a long run for that ball. Hughes was coming back. I think maybe the two of them weren't sure who was going to really go after that, but obviously it
whoever
fell
could
foul.
get to it first.
Yeah, but the last thing you want to do is collide as you're running for that ball.
Oh, so true.
Yes.
One-two pitch is low and inside to even the count at 2-2.
Chad getting into a couple of jams early. Nothing, obviously in that first inning, a runner at third.
This one hit right back up the middle. Hughes will pick it up. The throw to Patterson at first, and that will end the top half of the second inning. They get one hit, but they leave that batter stranded, and still no score through 1.5.
Oh, master of pitch count. How many pitches did Mr. Drexler throw in that inning? I know you'll be diligently counting those up so we can kind of keep an eye on how much work the Chad is getting.
That would be 20 more pitches that inning.
That's a lot of pitches, 40 pitches in 2 innings. We have a very nice crowd here on a beautiful day against two teams top rated in the metro area.
Well, we got quite a good amount of people, and why not? A great day to be out at the ball game.
Absolutely.
Hey, look, there's your name.
Hey, and they spelled it right.
That's not you, though.
No, I know that.
I don't think. We're on the other side.
There we are.
Hey, Howie, how are you?
Yeah, I'm
Good to
doing
see
well.
you.
I'm doing well, thanks.
Yeah, we look pretty comfortable in the shades and all.
No. very comfortable. Just need a little suntan lotion and
That's right.
work on my.
Don't zoom in
tan.
on my legs, because boy, are they white.
Well, we did a white balance. We did a white balance from your legs, so they're
Hey.
good for one thing.
Well, you know, the idea was to try and blind the opposing pitcher. I knew I would be sitting behind the plate, and if I can angle it just right, maybe get a little shine into Grassley's eyes and
There you go.
make him boost up that pitch count a little bit.
You know, that could get you thrown out. Glare from the announcer. It's bothering me. Could you please move him?
Mike Patterson at the plate to lead things off here in the second inning for the Cardinals. He swings at the first pitch right at the shortstop GENUNG. His throw is not handled by Bolio, and Patterson is aboard.
Throw was down a little bit in the dirt. Bolio tried to backhand it, but just couldn't do it. And Patterson is on.
And that is going to be called a throwing error, I believe, on the shortstop GENUNG.
Well, it should have been, because obviously he had the opportunity to get him had the throw been good. But that gives the Cardinals their first opportunity at a base runner.
And a leadoff base runner at that. You
Yep.
got to like it. Dan Anderson at the plate for Coon Rapids.
Danny pitched a solid game against Champlain Park on Monday.
Watches ball one.
We'll see what kind of lead that Mike gets off of first base.
Dan was pretty solid from the plate on Monday as well. This one ripped down the third base line. That'll get out into left field. Patterson rounds second, but he will hold up.
Oh, that ball found its way to the outfield awfully quick, not allowing Patterson to advance to third base, but a nice solid base wrap by Danny Anderson.
That'll put runners at first and second with no outs. And I mean,
It was a shot.
he ripped that right down the line. A nice diving attempt by Josh Howard, but just not enough. And that will bring up JUBRIL AKINWALE. And now the Cardinals with Mounds view in a jam. Grassley's pitch is bunted. Nice short bunt by AKINWALE. The throw to Patterson at third. Got him.
Now the bunt was placed a little too far out. Grassley came off the mound with a gun and threw him out at third. We'll take another look at that as JUBRIL's bunt really kind of came out pretty quick in front of the mound, as he was able to field it on a hop, and he turned around and just threw a bullet, getting Patterson at third.
Just in the nick of time.
Yes, it was.
That'll bring up Joey Olson. Another lefty for the Cardinals. Fastball swung on and missed, strike one.
And a fastball up high at that, too.
Once again, this is the fourth batter of the inning for the Cardinals, but that was only the fifth pitch of the inning for Steve Grassley.
The Cardinals going after first ball hitting.
That one outside, leaving the count at 1-1.
Well, Grassley, after throwing that heat, took something off of that pitch. Tried to pull the strings on it just a little bit, but obviously was not in the strike zone.
And that one fouled away, strike two. See all the fans down the third base line over there.
And we have some
Cardinal dugout. There's
Yep.
also a lineup down the right field line.
Standing room only here. We're lucky to have chairs, Joe.
Hey, we got the best seats in the house. This one chopped down the right field line, picked up by Bolio. He will race to first base and get the second out of the inning.
Now with two away, obviously they need a hit here in order to score a run after starting with nobody out at first and second.
That will move Anderson to third and AKINWALE to second, though, and it won't take a lot. Wilson doesn't have to put this out far in order to score AKINWALE. Probably the fastest player on this Cardinal squad.
Wilson was 2 for 2 against Champlain Park with a double and a run and an RBI, as we mentioned earlier. So he can hit the ball.
He watches strike one. That pitch a bit high will even the count at 1-1. Tom Newman on deck. So look at AKINWALE on second. Pitch is high for ball two.
Last couple pitches by Grassley has been high and fastball's up high though, so obviously good eyes by Ryan Wilson not to go after those pitches. Temptation's always there, especially with runners in scoring position.
This one right down the middle, strike two.
Well, after coming with a couple of high pitches, he comes down low with a nice pitch in the strike zone. Ryan watching that one go by.
That one right back up the middle. Fielding it is GENUNG. The throw to first is in time, and that will end the inning. The Cardinals get a couple of hits, but can't get anyone around. And after 2 innings, there's no score between the Mustangs and the Cardinals. We'll be back with the 3rd inning right after this.
McGruff here. If a bully is bothering you, play it smart and try to talk it out. Or get away and tell an adult.
Well done.
For more tips, write for my new free comic activity book. Play it smart and help take a bite out of crime.
There's a nice look at, I believe that's the 3rd base line over there. No, that's first base line.
That's first base.
First base line, and the fans standing along the fence. And I hope they are all staying in the game because as good a spot as it is to view the game from there, it can be awfully dangerous if you get the foul. Leading off the 3rd inning for the Mustangs is their leadoff hitter, Andy Peters. He singled in his first at bat.
Well, this will be an inning for Drexler to work on his pitch count. Both first 2 innings, he's thrown the ball 20 pitches each inning. Your arm's got to get a little sore.
Yeah, Grassley's up to 22 pitches through 2 innings. A little bit different.
A little bit different, absolutely.
And at this point, the game really doesn't mean a lot, but as you get into that 4th, 5th, 6th inning, it will definitely make a difference. Peters swung at that one kind of low and away, kind of a bad pitch that he chased, but either way, 0-1. Second pitch quick, another strike. That one, the heat down low once again gets Peters to swing after a pitch that's probably outside of the strike zone.
And one thing, watch about Peters, he points his bat to, I think, where he'd like to hit it. It's just as he's ready, as he points his bat out, Joe, if you are able to see that. Kind of the way Babe Ruth used to do it.
Babe Ruth, he is not.
Didn't say he was. That's what Babe Ruth used to do. They called his shot.
I think he's
there. It is, right there.
I think he's pretty much just pointing straight out, saying, I need to follow through. That one fouled away on the right field line.
I think what he is, he's visualizing. He is being the ball, and he's visualizing that hit over second base.
Oh, okay. You could be right.
You never know.
You may be right. I may be crazy.
Wasn't that a song?
The infamous words of Mr. Billy Joel.
Yeah.
The 1-2 pitch. High and outside, ball 2.
Chad coming with some heat on that.
This one ripped to the left side, picked up by Wolf. Wolf's throw to Patterson is not in time, and Peters beats it out, and he is 2 for 2.
Now the ball was slowed a little bit by when it hit the back of the grass.
And he's gotten 2 infield hits.
Both of those have been infield hits, absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
One right back up the middle at Drexler. This one right to the shortstop, slowed up a little bit by the infield grass, and maybe Coach Coe's thinking it's time to get the lawnmower out and trim it up a little bit.
Very good. Say that's what happens when you visualize being the ball.
Howard swings, strike one.
And he moved on the pitch, and but it was a foul, so he's going to have to come back. But he had a great jump on the ball, Peters did. And had Howard not swung at that pitch, that would have been a stolen base.
Cardinals were able to steal quite a few bases on Monday.
I bet you'll let us know just how many, Joe.
I'm working on it.
There he goes again.
This one throws a little bit high, and a stolen base will move the runner into scoring position. It looks like 5 stolen bases, including 2 by Ryan Wilson when he stole second base and home in the same trip around the bags.
You don't see that happen too often, a runner stealing home.
Well, it was part of a double steal, and it was really actually a great job by Matt Molitor to draw himself into the hot box between first and second. That allowed Wilson to come home from third. 1-1, they count to Howard. Shows the bunt, and this one bunted foul off behind the Mounds View dugout.
We'll see if Chad can come up with a little trick here, with being ahead of the count at 1-2. See if he can get Howard out. Certainly they'd like that opportunity to get that first out of the inning, especially with a man on second.
And Peters has shown he's got the wheels, so once again a single into the outfield will probably score the game's first run. Called strike 3 for Howard.
And Howard changed his mind because it looked like he was going to swing at that pitch and decided he was going to pull up on it. And that one went by him for a called third strike.
That'll bring up Don Eustace. Single to center in his first at bat. Another look at, that's the third baseline.
There you go, you got your baselines right. Look, is he just about decided, oh, am I going to go for it? No, he thought maybe he was a little bit outside, but that was above the knees and in for a strike.
That one is in the dirt, ball 1. Newman doing a nice job of keeping it in front of him and keeping an eye on Peters at second base.
Now Peters was just going to give him a little bit of an opportunity to see if he could test that arm. But Tom made a nice stop on the ball and surely wasn't going to have any of it.
This one ripped into center field. AKINWALE going back for it. It's going to go over his head. And Peters will come around to score. Howard will hold up at second base, or Eustace rather.
Well, he really ripped that pitch out there. He hit it way into the gap. AKINWALE obviously didn't have an opportunity. Got it just shot off his bat, bringing in the first run of the game.
So with 1 out and a runner at second base and 1 run across, Brad Baglien at the plate. Struck out in his first at bat.
That pitch was a fastball right down the middle.
Eustace got good contact.
Yep,
and
drove that ball
right out to the fence in center field. See, AKINWALE, it's going to fall just behind him. And, you know, if it gets behind JUBRIL, it's a well-hit ball because he is, as we mentioned before, quite fast.
He is, and the fact that the ball came off the bat with such velocity and such quickness to get out there as fast as it did.
Baglien hits it off the pitcher's mound and out into center field. AKINWALE comes up throwing. Patterson will cut it off. But Eustace comes around to score on the Baglien single.
That's a tough opportunity for the Cardinals because that ball bounced right off the mound, and had that ball been either to the left or the right of the pitcher's mound, that would have been an out for the Cardinals.
Cardinals really need to stop this. They have 1 out, 2 runners across, and a runner on first base. Pete WEIDEWITSCH at the plate. He flew out to left field to end the first inning. watches the first ball outside.
Pete, one of the few players you see that does not wear the batting gloves when he's up at the plate. Some players like to get that natural feel of the bat in their hands.
Runner is going, nice throw, and he got it.
Beautiful throw.
Great throw from Newman out to Dustin Wolf.
It was a nice play by Dustin to really dig that throw out of the dirt and lay the tag on at the same time as the runner was sliding in, but just a nice play all around defensively by the Cardinals.
That will mean that that's 2 outs in the inning, and WEIDEWITSCH with the 1-1 count.
That pitch in the dirt.
Good all around good communication by the Cardinals. Perfect throw.
Absolutely.
From Howard right in front of the bag, and Wolf putting his glove right where it needed to be, and the Cardinals get the pick off. 3-1 now the count to WEIDEWITSCH. Fastball down the middle, hit back up the middle, bounces once again off that high pitcher's mound, and the single out into center field.
Not much you can do on that play is Chad Drexler's got a little smile on his face, like, you know, what else can happen at this point, because that 2 pitches certainly have gone off that, hit that point in the mound where it just gained a little height in the air and went over the infield.
That'll bring up Tony Bolio. Walked in his first at bat. Watches ball 1.
Good game, Chad. You're doing good.
6th batter of the inning for the Mustangs. Got 4 hits and 2 across. 1 man on first base. That one popped up. Eric Hughes calling. Nope, Dustin Wolf will call off, and he will make the catch and end the inning. But not before 2 runs score, so the Cardinals have their work cut out for them going to the bottom of the 3rd.
Well, they certainly do. And the last up inning for the Cardinals, they were able to get to Graisley, but they obviously could not get a run across. And this is something they're going to have to work on now in this inning, is to get those base runners on and not worry about the fact that he throws a lot of heat. They can hit him. But certainly a good pitcher like that, when he gets a lead, tends to bear down a little bit. We'll see what happens here as the Cardinals come up.
And the Cardinals will start with the bottom of their lineup. Tom Newman, the catcher. His first plate appearance today.
Well, Tom was on deck in the last inning, had an opportunity to look at what Graisley was doing, what he was throwing. We'll see what he can do as he comes up to face him.
Certainly the Cardinals would like to see a leadoff man on base, as they did in the last inning.
There's the line, 2 runs, 6 hits for Mounds View. No runs.
That is correct.
For the Cardinals.
No runs for the Cardinals, just one hit. And 1 error. Newman watches strike 1. That one ripped to the left side, picked up by GENUNG. The throw to BAGLIEN is in time, and they have the first out in the inning.
Routine ground out. Nice arm by GENUNG. He picks that one up, throws it over to first.
The Cardinals return to the top of the order. Dustin Wolf at the plate. Grounded out to third base in his first at bat. Watches ball one low. Ball two. Once again, a 21 pitch inning for Chad Drexler. That one right down the middle, strike one.
So we're talking about 3 innings in a row of 20, at least 20 pitches thrown.
And he's not going to last long at that rate.
No, absolutely not.
2 straight fastballs down the pipe, evens the count at 2-2. That one chopped right off the front of the, just in front, and Dustin Wolf will beat out the throw, and the Cardinals have a runner aboard. Their second hit of the ball game.
Well, that was definitely a nice infield hit by Dustin. No opportunity to throw him out.
To bring up Eric Hughes, who struck out in his first at bat. Now, that's kind of how the Mustangs have been getting their hits, though. The choppers right off the in front of the plate, high bounces up over the head of the infielders. Hughes swings at the first pitch, fouls it back.
Well, so it's the Cardinals' turn to get those kind of hits. I'll just need to see one off the mound.
Or two.
Or two.
Grassley keeping an eye on Howard over there, or Dustin Wolf rather, on first base. His pitch is a little high, ball one.
Looked like he tried to take a little bit of something off of that, causing that pitch to go a little bit high.
1-1 with 1 out and 1 on. Pitch is in the dirt, 2-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2.
Again, Grassley coming back with taking a little bit off that pitch, fooling Hughes.
Chad Drexler on deck for Coon Rapids. That one foul back. Hughes will stay alive. And this is the deepest into the count Grassley has been so far this game as he checks Dustin Wolf. It gets away, and Wolf will scamper to second base and dive in safe.
And that was a pretty close. I think that Dustin kind of got a little bit of a late start off to second base, and by the time he was able to get there, Mounds was able to recover and try and throw him out, but he was obviously able to slide in safe.
The error will be charged against the first baseman, Tony Bolio. Almost recovered from it, but not quite in time. So Dustin Wolf on second. The pitch is chopped right back up center again. The throw to first is...
He's going to be safe.
In time? Not in time.
No, he is safe. He beat the throw. So that's going to put the runners at the corners. With Drexler up to bat. Drexler, a awful dangerous hitter. It's a good opportunity for the Cardinals here.
With only 1 away and runners at the corners. As we mentioned before, Drexler, a huge day against Champlin Park. 3 for 4 with a single.
Take a nice look at that place. He definitely beat that
nice
throw.
Call,
nice camera work.
Ump, rather. Nice call by the ump. Nice camera work by our incredible, incomparable camera staff here.
Best in the business.
As I was mentioning, Drexler 3 for 4 against Champlain Park with a single, a double, and a home run. That pitch up and behind him for ball 1.
Baglien making a nice recovery after that pitch got behind him to make a quick run to the ball so no base runner would advance.
That one just a bit high, ball 2. And it looks like Coach Schwartz is going to take a walk to the mound and try and settle his pitcher. This is the deepest, as I mentioned when Hughes was up there, the deepest he had been into a pitch count on one pitcher. He went 6 pitches against Hughes, and now I think he's up to about 16 pitches this inning, so his longest pitch inning so far in the game.
It's not like there's any opportunity. There's nobody warming up in the bullpen for Mounds. I think Chris Schwartz just wanted to come out, as you're right, Joe, just to calm him down a little bit, maybe just tell him to get his head back in the game, not worry about it, just work the batter.
And it's hard to concentrate on the batter when you have runners both in front and behind you.
Absolutely.
But certainly if you can get the batters to all strike out, those base runners don't do a lot of damage.
This is true.
2-0 the count to Drexler. Swings at that one, and it's fouled away, and nobody's quite sure exactly where it fouled to.
You know, it just disappeared in thin air.
Somehow I don't believe that.
It's the old exploding ball trick.
I think it was a home run.
Mark it down in your book.
That's right. 3-run shot, Cardinals are winning. Or not. 2-1 pitch, 1 away, and runners at the corners. That ball is a little low, 3-1.
Nice patience at the plate by Chad Drexler, because a lot of the times hitters will go after a pitch like that, but he knew that it was out of the strike zone. He had the whereabouts to just let that one go by.
3-1 pitch is right down the middle. Drexler fouls it away once again.
Did you see where that one went, Joe?
Nope. Did you? I'm guessing it went behind the stands because there's the Cardinal manager is running after it.
I thought you were going to say Cardinal mascot was running after it.
No, we haven't seen
Chris?
Carl the Cardinal?
No, I thought it was Chris the Cardinal.
Chris the Cardinal? Chris, Carl, whatever his name is.
God.
The Cardinal. Haven't seen him yet this season. Swing and a miss. And the strikeout for Chad Drexler.
And that was a big, big strikeout for Grassley.
Bring up Mike Patterson. He reached on error in his first at bat.
It's an opportunity for Patterson to put a run across and get a hit here.
First one is high and away, ball 1.
Little equipment check by Baglien.
Fastball down the middle. Swung on and missed by Patterson. Evens the count at 1-1.
Grassley trying to work himself out of a jam.
Hit right back up the middle, and it is going to skip into the outfield, and that will score 1, and Hughes will hold up at third. And I don't know what Patterson's got going for him, but evidently he's got Dan GENUNG's number, because that is the second time he is going to reach on error. This time he's going to score an RBI on error. Both errors charged to Dan GENUNG.
And I'll tell you, it was a good heads-up play by Eric Hughes to continue to run to third, because he had the whereabouts with himself to see that the ball was by, and just took advantage of that to move over to third base. And we'll take a run any way we can get it.
So it may not be earned, but it's a run.
It's a run nonetheless, absolutely. Brings up Dan Anderson with an opportunity to see if he can knock in another one.
Dan singled in his first at bat.
Get a nice shot down the third baseline.
Not quite sure what we were waiting for at this time. Either way, Anderson in with 2 out and 2 on, 1 across. That one coming right at him, and Anderson ducks away, ball 1. And I would think that if I'm Coach Schwartz, I'm gonna shift my infield to the left, or my outfield rather. That one high and inside, ball 2. So I noticed the left fielder playing quite a bit towards center, and another rip down the left field line could score 2.
And there's also a nice hole between third and short if Dan can find that crease in there.
That one right down the middle, strike 1. It's got to be a pretty good shot. Mike Patterson on first base, not exactly the speediest on the team, but a good shot into the corner I think will still score him. Once again, he ducks away.
I think the ball nicked him.
Must have.
It nicked him. It's going to put him loaded for JUBRIL AKINWALE. Oh, that's tough to see from that. I think it may have hit him on the shoulder a little bit, but home plate.
It's possible our umpire just said, hey, that's 2 of them he's had to duck away from, and 1 you whizzed right across his nose. So we're going to
give him a base.
Give him a base. Akinwale reached on fielder's choice. His first at bat. Backs away from ball 1.
We're seeing a lot of high pitches and a little bit of wildness from Graysley at this point. Maybe he's just a little bit rattled, obviously, with a 2-0 lead coming in here now, down to 2-1.
That one right up the middle. That will score.
That will score 2.
Patterson coming around. There's going to be a play at the plate. No, it isn't. Good single 2-run shot for JUBRIL AKINWALE.
And it all started on that error by Eustace at short to keep this inning alive, and clutch hitting for JUBRIL to come knock in a couple of runs.
And the Cardinals rallying on 2 outs.
Gotta like that.
That one catches the outside corner on Joey Olson, strike 1. Joey Olson rips it into left field, but making the grab is Andy Peters to end the inning. But the Cardinals bring 3 across and take the lead 3-2. After 3, we'll be back with the 4th after this.
Did you do your homework? No. You want to copy mine? No, I'll do it at lunch. Took the test this morning. Do you want the answers? Nah, I handle it. Nah, it's okay. I don't need it.
Do the work, take the test, make the call yourself. Listen to the ref in your head. Cheating is a personal foul.
And all of a sudden, after a long bottom of the 3rd, the pitch count between the 2 pitchers is pretty close. 61 through 3 innings for that man, Chad Drexler. 52 for Steve Grassley.
Grassley really cut the lead down, or the advantage down in that inning, throwing 30 pitches.
Dan GENUNG will lead things off for here in the 4th inning. He struck out in his first at bat. Fastball ripped right back up between short and third for a leadoff single.
Solid single by GENUNG. Certainly trying to make up for that error he made last inning and causing that 3 runs, keeping that inning alive and having that 3-run across for the Cardinals.
Well, he's been charged. I've charged him with two errors so far this game, both when Mike Patterson was at the plate. I don't know what that deal is, but he's also got, I think, 3 or 4 assists. So
solid hit right between third, right just past Dustin Wolf. A diving Dustin Wolf trying to get that. Now, we'll see what Chad can do pitching with the lead here, obviously giving up a single here, but see what he can do about settling down, trying to get out of this inning.
Tom Newman stepping up and giving some instructions to his infield. Some singles as DOERER showed bunt in the... That was not easy to say. DOERER.
Yeah, I noticed that had a trouble getting that off your tongue, Joe.
Showed bunt in his first pitch. That one, fastball down the middle, evens the count at 1-1.
Well, even after throwing 60 pitches, Drexler has shows he's not lost anything in that arm.
Heads up, Joe. Get in the step. Get in the step, Joey. Get in the step.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Your way. Andy!
DOERER chased a high fastball.
No outs, runner at first base, 1-2 the count to DOERER here in the top of the 4th. That one is outside, even the count at 2-2. The Cardinals gave up 2 runs in the top of the 3rd, but came back to score 3 in the bottom and take the lead into the 4th. That one, swing and a miss, and strike 3.
Chad took a little bit of heat off that one. Still came with a pretty quick pitch, but he took a little bit of heat off.
4th strikeout of the game for Chad Drexler. We've got Joe CERONSKY coming to the plate. He grounded out to second base to end the 1st inning, or the 2nd inning rather. Now with 1 away and a runner at first base. And Drexler keeping an eye on GENUNG.
Keeping him honest.
This one hit down the left field line, grabbed by Joey Olson, and he'll get it to Patterson for out number 2.
Nice play by Olson. Got stabbed at the grounder, and nice throw from the hot corner. Just another look at it.
And Olson does exactly what he's supposed to. He looks at the runner, and the runner, it was a hit and run, so he really had no chance at getting GENUNG from getting him at second. So he took the out and got CERONSKY at first. That will return to the top of the inning, or the top of the order, Andy Peters.
A couple hits for Peters already.
2 for 2 with a run scored.
Chad kind of brushed him back a little bit on that first pitch.
And that one hit right to Eric Hughes. Nice job getting down on it. The throw to Patterson. And that will end the top of the inning. They get 1 hit, but leave that runner on. And the Cardinals will see if they can continue to put some more pressure on Steve Grassley.
A strong inning defensively for the Cardinals. Nice play by Olson at third, and then nice play on the ball by Hughes just to really stay with it and throw Peters out, who had been a hot stick up until then. So a good inning by the Cardinals. I'm sorry, Joe.
It was a leadoff single for GENUNG, and then they put the next 3 batters down.
There was a little bit of work in the bullpen, but Grassley is going to remain on the mound for Mounds View. After coming off an inning where he threw 30 pitches, he was really kind of throwing that high heat towards the end, not really being able to find the strike zone.
Only 9 pitches in the inning for Drexler, and that certainly helps his pitch count. Is now after 4 innings, he's up to 70. And we'll see what the Cardinals can do. Ryan Wilson, the only Cardinal batter that didn't get to the plate in the 3rd inning. That is the varsity softball team over there taking on Park Center. We will have those highlights Tuesday on Sports Night.
It's not too often, Joe, that we've got a couple of games going on at the home field. There's a look at our smiling mugs.
Well, I'm smiling.
Okay, well,
I don't know if you're really smiling. Smirking.
I'm smirking. Okay, it's a smirking mug.
I guess
me.
I'm not really smiling either.
Yeah. Inside, you're smiling. But Tuesday nights, we have our Sports
Night.
Night.
Big smiles on the faces on Tuesday nights.
Yep.
Just so enjoy to do that show.
As long as we get good weather this spring season, we'll have plenty of highlights for everybody.
Grassley's first pitch of the inning is a super speedy fastball right down the middle, strike 1 to Ryan Wilson.
Super speed, is that just a little step above a speedy, I take it? I like it. Second pitch.
Breaking ball is low and inside, even the count at 1-1.
Yep, that it is.
Now, I could have sworn we had someone here with the radar.
They're actually.
That one is an ugly pitch in the dirt and bouncing up over the catcher Baglien for ball 2.
We do have the radar gun going, but I think that I think that somebody's just kind of put it down, hasn't used it for a while.
I have not. I've been checking.
I've been checking as well.
Haven't seen anybody bringing it out yet.
No.
Interested to see what kind of heat these guys are throwing.
Some of these pitches have been, as you would say, super speedy, and certainly they're going to be up there.
That one a little bit off speed, but down the middle, strike 2. Like the Roadrunner. Meet, meet. That one fouled away. Wilson will stay alive. Grounded out to short in his first at bat. And the strikeout for Steve Grassley. Only his 2nd strikeout of the game. Nope, 3rd.
3rd, I think. Yeah, you're right. 3rd. Watches that pitch go by for that 3rd called strike.
Wilson was hoping that was, thinking maybe it was going to be a little bit lower. Kind of a sinker there, but didn't sink quite enough. Newman grounded out to short to lead off the last inning. Another sinker, and Newman wasn't quite too sure about that. I think that's the same pitch that got Wilson.
He looked back at home plate umpire and said, I wasn't sure if that was a strike. Kind of give him a little bit of a smile.
That one in the dirt will even the count at 2-2.
But Wayne Lundstrom, our home plate, easy for me to say, home plate umpire said, no, that was a strike. It's okay, laugh at me, Joe, laugh at me.
I would never.
No.
2-2. Another one in the dirt will load the count at 3-2. Only 1 base on balls from either pitcher so far, and that one charged to Chad Drexler. Of course, Dan Anderson got the free trip to first base last inning for being hit by Grassley, so each has given up a free base. And that would have been ball 4, but he got Newman to swing And he strikes out the first two batters in the bottom of the fourth.
And Tom certainly not happy with himself. He knew that he should not have gone after that pitch because that would have put him on first base. The pitch was way low to the outside, and not a real pretty looking swing on that either. But he knew that that was not a pitch he should have been
You could see his
swinging
face
at.
grimacing before he even finished swinging. That one low for ball one to Dustin Wolf. He's 1 for 2 with a single, an RBI, and a run.
That's what you call an ugly strikeout.
I would have to agree with you on that one. Swing and a miss to even the count at 1-1, and once again, that one a little bit low. But he's been setting him up with that sinker that just stays right above the knees. And now if he's dipping a little low, it's going to get him to swing. And that one was a good off-speed pitch. That one would have been a strike had he not swung at it, 1-2.
It seems like he's found his location back after giving up those, because they are giving up those 3 runs in the first inning.
This one chopped to first base, scooped up by Bolio, and that will end the fourth inning. So the Cardinals go 3 up and 3 down, but they keep the lead going to 5. We'll be back after this.
Batteries and flashlight. Okay, you know what?
That guy? Look.
Okay, girls, at 3 o'clock.
What is he looking at? They're looking at us. What do you think?
Oh, that's so obvious. Captain Obvious has scored again. Over your window, say something.
Oh, he's really gonna down.
Hi. Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Chad Drexler returns to the mound for inning number 5. And he will face the number 2, 3, 4 hitters for the...
Chad's thrown 70 pitches so far this afternoon, 44 of them being strikes. Coming off an inning where he's only threw 9 pitches, and that certainly had an opportunity for him to rest his arm. If you can call it resting his arm, but certainly.
Absolutely,
Yep.
I would. Yep. Josh Howard will lead things off here in the second. He's 0 for, or in the fifth, he's 0 for 2. With a ground out and a strikeout. Or no, he flew out in the first inning. Sorry.
It's okay.
Checking my numbers.
You're entitled.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Cardinals playing a clean game. No errors so far. 3 charged against Mounds View. Oh, and a good fastball on the inside corner, strike 1.
That pitch as it left his arm seemed to almost because it was going to break towards the hitter. Curved inside. Nice pitch by Chad Drexler.
That one not quite as nice.
Not quite as nice.
Even the count at 1-1. Off-speed pitch inside, 2-1.
Howard flinched just a little bit on that pitch. Maybe thought, oh, this is going to come inside enough for him to get a piece of the bat on it.
Fastball down the middle, swung on and missed, 2-2.
Neither one of these pitchers really has lost anything since the beginning of the game.
That one in the dirt, 3-2. And a big pitch coming up as Howard could, you certainly don't want to get the leadoff runner on base. We've mentioned that a few times.
Certainly not by a walk, anyway.
Definitely not by a walk. But that's how he's going to reach. And Howard runs it out. Not quite sure why he ran. He thought maybe that was a called strike 3, and the catcher dropped it, so he had to run to first. But
he's keeping his head in the game.
Not the case. That was low and inside for ball 4, and the second walk of the game for Chad Drexler.
Wants to keep his legs loose, run down the baseline on that walk.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Keep him warm.
Yeah.
Don Eustace at the plate. He's 2 for 2 with a double, a single, and an RBI, and 1 run scored. And he watches strike 1.
Howard taking a very short lead off of first base. Patterson over there keeping him honest. Just a couple of steps off the bag.
And quickly back without without a throw or anything. Just a nasty look from Drexler is enough to keep him back at the bag. There's the pitch, strike 2.
Nice pitch, caught the corner of the plate.
0-2. With nobody out and a runner on first base. High and outside, ball 1.
Chad trying to mix his pitches up, getting a few pitches down in the strike zone, but he's on an occasional pitch, he's just a little bit high.
That one down the middle, swung on and fouled back. So Eustace stays alive, 1-2. Once again, Howard not taking much of a lead off first at all.
And not at all.
That one fouled way back. Still 1-2.
Well, Eustace working the count, forcing Drexler to come after him.
Strike 3.
Nice pitch. Really, that was throwing fire on that pitch because he just blew that by him.
Now is fire faster than the super speed?
It is because you see a little bit of smoke coming from the ball. Super speed just doesn't quite get the smoke.
Not quite. Senior Smoke. Juan Berenguer.
Beautiful pitch.
Yeah. Ooh.
It looked like it could have been a little bit outside, but I think it just maybe caught the corner.
Yeah, doesn't need to take a lot.
Nope.
Brad Baglien at the plate with 1 out and 1 on. Baglien is 1 for 2, and he was picked off trying to steal second.
I think Chad's in a groove right now. Chad's finding his spot. Just calling off a sign.
Going to be called strike. Gonna say Baglien went around even though the pitch was in the dirt. But this time Howard gets the stolen base.
That's called swinging at a low pitch.
Yeah, I didn't think he swung, but
apparently
I'm not the umpire.
You are not.
I'm not.
Mr. Lundstrom thought he swung, and
that's all that matters.
That is all that matters. He's the judge and the jury in this
Howard
case.
did advance, got the stolen base. High heat. 1-2. Ball low, 2-2. And it seems that Howard's a little more daring at second base.
Well, it's because he doesn't have anybody really, how often do you pick a guy off a second? Not too often. And there's nobody there. There's nobody there covering the bag.
That is correct.
So he can be daring. You'd be daring in that situation. No, maybe not.
I don't know. I'm not the fastest guy in the world, Howie.
No super speed for you, huh?
No. That'll load the count at 3-2. 1 out, man on second base here in the top of the 5th inning. The Cardinals leading the Mustangs by a score of 3-2. And the fire hit into center field or right field, but Wilson cannot make the grab. He tried to make the sliding grab, but it will go in for a double, and it will score Howard to even the score.
That will tie the game, and that certainly was a tough situation for Wilson on that hit. We get a chance to get another look at it.
He made a nice attempt.
He did. It came off the bat very quickly again. So he drove that ball out there.
That was very close. He was very close to ending the inning because
it was very close.
Howard was already gone, but he tried to grab it as he was sliding in, and had he grabbed that, he might have been able to get to second base and get the double play.
I think you're right. I think he had a big enough jump where he wasn't going to get back to the bag, but that point is moot. You
were correct the first time.
I was correct the first time.
Pete WEIDEWITSCH at the plate. He's 1 for 2.
Tommy Newman's going to go out to the mound to talk to Drexler. Playing a little strategy at this point. Obviously now with the game tied, they don't want to get another run across the plate.
And a runner in scoring position, Brad BAGLIEN. This one ripped to left field. Anderson going back. It's going to fall, and it will score. BAGLIEN from second, and a double into left field for WEIDEWITSCH.
WEIDEWITSCH really got a hold of that pitch and drove it to the fence. A little more muscle, that would have been out of here.
And a big rally going for the Mustangs. Another look at it, and he just got that right in the meat of the batch. Right in the meat of the bat, and this one is just too far left and too far back for Dan to get to. And that will be the RBI double for WEIDEWITSCH.
That hit tips the scales back in the favor of Mounds View. Nice stop by Newman.
Two and 0 the count to 1-1 the count to Bolio. Make it 1-2. Good fastball. That one down the middle, chopped back to Drexler. The throw is in time for out number 2, but it does move WEIDEWITSCH up to third.
Nice throw by Drexler to get the runner at first. Short little choppers. There's the throw, and he is out by just barely out by a step.
You see the
first base coach saying safe.
And he didn't even do it. He wasn't very dramatic about it. Just about halfway.
It was kind of a wishful sign.
Yeah, it was like you could call it safe.
Please call it safe. I think.
GENUNG back at the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a single in the 4th inning. Watches strike 1. That one chopped back to Drexler, but it's going to be called foul. It
hit off the plate, I believe.
Hits off the plate. That is correct. 0-2 to GENUNG.
Hit off the batter. Take a look at WEIDEWITSCH off a third.
Ball high, 1-2. 2 outs. The runner at third, as you noticed, was WEIDEWITSCH.
Yes, it was.
It is, actually. Fastball fouled off the right field line.
Keep battling, Danny.
This one fouled off the right field line. Patterson running, and couldn't bring it in.
You get a little close to that fence and you wonder just how close you are. That ball was in his glove, but he just obviously couldn't close it. And quite a different pitch count this inning for Drexler, not the 9 that he pitched the inning before.
Well, this will be his 30th pitch of the inning.
Far cry from 9.
Yeah, a little bit. Fastball is high. Even the count at 2-2. That will be blowing outside to load the count at 3-2. This one chopped down the third base line. It's going to go foul.
Jung really working the count here.
This will be his 8th pitch.
He's making Chad earn this out.
That one inside will earn the walk.
And I think Chad felt that that was a strike, but I think it was just a little bit outside the zone.
We'll bring up Joe Doer, 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. Fastball high and inside, ball 1.
Trying to get a look and see if I can see anybody warming up for Coon Rapids. I don't think so, but
2 outs, runners at the corner. 2-0 they count to Doer at the plate. 2 runs scored so far this inning for Mounds View, and they have been able to reclaim the lead.
the Cardinals certainly don't want any more damage put across the plate in this inning.
3-0. And loading the bases would not be
no, not a good thing.
Desirable option for the Cardinals at this point, but
they do.
2 walks in a row loads the bags and brings up Joe CERONSKY.
This will brings Coach Coe out to the mound.
$107 pitches.
That's a lot of pitches, Joe.
It's a lot of pitching.
Yeah, that is a lot of pitching. We've got a team conference. Entire infield. Suppose the catcher is in, talking things over.
Well, we will have all the highlights of tonight's game on Sports Night next Tuesday. And we will also have the highlights or the lowlights, quite possibly, from the softball matchup against the Park Center Pirates. That game finished up already, a 3-0 loss for the Cardinals in that one.
We talked about last night, the softball team certainly needs to get off victory this season. So far, unable to do so.
High fastball, strike 1 to CERONSKY with 2 out and bases loaded in the top of the 5th. And that one caught the inside corner, 0-2.
I think CERONSKY felt that pitch was going to come in towards him, but you're right, Joe, it did catch the corner. Nice pitch by Chad, took something a little bit off of that one.
That one's high, ball 1. This one ripped into left center, and Dan Anderson will make the catch and end the threat. It got scary, but they get 2 runs across and regain the lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
Well, Grassley has had a lot of opportunity to rest in that half inning, and he runs out to the mound. He's ready to start throwing again, and certainly the Cardinals now have to get their bats working after now trailing 4-3. Get back into this ball game.
Yeah, 2 hits, 2 across, and 3 left on in that inning. 3 walks in that inning for the Mustangs.
I always say a walk is a hit. As good as a hit. Get a man on base, get the opportunity to put a run across. .42 pitches in that inning. There's a lot of pitching.
That's a whole ton of pitching. So he's up to 112 for the day. Ouch. Graisley 68 pitches.
45 of those strikes, Joe. Pretty good ratio.
Yeah, but almost twice as many pitches for Chad Drexler.
Unfortunately, even though throwing that many pitches, you're only behind by a run.
Yeah. Eric Hughes at the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. He swings at pitch 1.
Behind on that fastball.
That one low and outside, leaving the count at 1-1. That one taken into short left center will be good for a single, and Hughes will hold up at first.
Nice hit by Eric Hughes.
Bring up Chad Drexler. He's 0 for 2 today. Struck out and grounded out. So I would say he's due.
I think so.
No outs, runner at first.
Not a better time than right
Bottom
now.
of the 5th. Watches strike 1.
Looked like when that pitch left Graisley's arm that Chad was thinking about maybe going after that, but did watch that one go by.
Fastball, strike 2.
Grassley throwing that heat by Drexler.
0-2 the count, with Eric Hughes aboard at first base. That one hit right back to Grassley, to the shortstop, and the double play for the Mustangs.
Well, Chad swinging kind of weakly at that pitch, putting the ball right back to Grassley.
To GENUNG.
A little high, too, actually.
GENUNG doing a nice job sliding the foot on the base. And a great throw to Bolio, and I'm not sure what exactly happened with Drexler sliding there. It almost looked like he might have tripped.
Which is possible.
But either way, the 1-6-3 double play. Called strike on Mike Patterson. He is reached base twice on errors. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Grassley with nice control of his pitches here.
Now I'm thinking what Patterson wants to do is hit it to GENUNG at shortstop.
Yeah, I would think so because
it's worked for him twice already. That one low for ball 2.
I think GENUNG's aware of that fact that this ball's hit his way. He is going to make sure he's going to do his darndest to throw him out or make a play on the ball.
This one is hit down the first base line. Nice stick by Bolio. He touches up, and the Cardinals go 3 up and 3 down. And so after 2 runs scored by the Mustangs in the top of the 5th, the Cardinals can't get anything done in the bottom, and the Mustangs have the lead go into the 6th. We'll be back after this.
As the American military gets smaller, who will be there to answer the call? They will. They're the National Guard and Reserve, and they make up half of today's military forces. As an employer, you may be asked to support their mission. Remember, their response depends on yours.
Chad Drexler still on the mound, 112 pitches, 66 of them strikes, so just over, a little bit over 50%. And we've got, it looks like we've got some changes on the defense for the Cardinals. Adam Gronlund checking in at first base. He will take over for Mike Patterson.
Now we've seen obviously Adam play goaltender. He's got that glove in hockey. We'll see what he does here at first base. Tim Bretsky, the base ump. Good look at him.
Trying to see if they made any other changes. It looks like
so.
Olson, Wolf, and Hughes are still in the infield. AKINWALE is still out in center, and Dan is still out in left. I'm just going to assume that's Wilson out in right. It's a long way to look from here. First pitch is in the dirt to Andy Peters. Top of the 6th. He's 2 for 3. Pair of singles and 1 run. Swing and a miss. Even the count at 1-1.
Nice pitch by Drexler. Still got some speed in that ball.
And he's already pitched more than most major league pitchers would pitch in a game. Check swing ball for Peters. Make the count 2-1.
Wayne Lundstrom looking down the line at Bretsky to see was that a strike, and said no.
That one inside, 3-1.
We got a little sunshine back.
A little bit. You can't argue about it too much. And the leadoff batter has been walked aboard for the 2nd straight inning.
Certainly Drexler has put more than his fair share of runners out in the last couple innings on base. And one statistic is every single inning their leadoff batter has reached base.
That is correct. I see the sad thing. Well, I guess we got a stats guy in the truck that's calling out some good stats for us. Ooh, almost picked up at first base was Andy Peters. Good throw from Newman to Gronlund.
Peters is an aggressive base runner. Howard showing bunt.
1-1 the count now to Josh Howard. Ball 2.
Every time Josh Howard comes to the bat, his teammates yell out Howie, and I continue to look around to see if somebody's calling my name.
That would not surprise me all that much. Pretty popular guy around these parts, Al. Two and one, they count to Howard. And that one's fouled back, and that means that Peters will have to return to first base. He had a great
that ball hit him, Joe. It looked like it hit him on the hands, even though he swung at it. I'm not sure what the call is here, but I think they're going to bring him back.
Yeah, the base ump just said that's a strike.
That is a strike. Even though it hit him, he did swing at the ball.
Hands are part of the bat. Come on, slow.
And Drexler certainly arguing it. Coach Schwartz there arguing it as well. And we'll take a look and see what we can see. And I'm sorry, but there's the swing. It just looks like, it looked to me like it hit the bottom of the bat, and he just got vibrations.
Chris Schwartz, head coach, is out talking to Tim Bretsky, the base umpire, arguing his case, but I don't think this is going to get him anywhere. I think
and also, in my experience, it doesn't matter if it hits the bat. If it hits your hands, if you're swinging the bat and it hits your hands, it's still a strike.
Well, your hands are considered part of the bat at that point.
That is correct. So I don't understand where the argument is coming from. 2-2 the count to Howard as Schwartz goes back to the third base line, and Peters is back on the first base bag.
Hey, spin a cap now. Let's go.
High and inside, 3-2. Full count to Howard. And walking the first two batters of the inning could be devastating at this point.
Absolutely.
Not going to happen. This one popped up in the infield. Gronlund getting under it and making the grab for the first out.
And Adam, too, is pretty much looking into that sun as he's going after that ball, but nice play to stay with it.
That'll bring up Don Eustace. He's 2 for 3 with a single, double, an RBI, and a strikeout. This one, first pitch, ripped to center field. AKINWALE on the run. Anderson calling off, makes the grab for out number 2. That'll bring up Brad Baglien. He is 2 for 3 with 2 RBI and a single and a double. And if he gets on base, I'm guessing he's going to stop trying to. Steal.
Yeah, I would think so. And this is an important batter for Chad Drexler. Obviously, the Cardinals want to get out of this inning, only trailing 4-3.
High and inside, ball 1. 2 away, Peters still on first base. Called strike on the inside corner.
My Chad must be getting tired by now. All the pitches he's thrown in this ball game. And not counting, as you mentioned earlier, the throws over to first.
Yeah, add 14 more for this inning, so we're up to about 126.
I would think that this would be his last inning.
That one fouled off the right field line for strike 2. So We're approaching 130, and I would say he's probably checked the runner at first base about 10 to 15 times.
Well, so you're talking 140 to 145 times that he's thrown the ball.
And now certainly a throw to first base isn't going to take as much off you as a pitch. And certainly not like a fastball, but it's got to do something. Tire you out a little bit. Either way, he's thrown the ball a lot.
Yes, he has.
Drexler doesn't like the calls he's getting from Newman. Here's the pitch, ripped to nice stick by Dustin Wolf, and the throw is not in time to Hughes. That was close.
We've seen Dustin dive a number of times today, and that was just a beautiful defensive play by Dustin Wolf. And he regained his composure enough to try and throw the runner out at second. It was an awful close play.
And it looks like Eric Hughes doesn't really agree with it, but a great stick.
Beautiful.
Great stick. Shortstop, probably the toughest position on the baseball field.
Oh, it's awful close.
Tie goes to the runner.
Yep. Awful close.
Yeah. You know me, I love to agree with referees, umpires, officials of any sort.
We know that, Joe. And we don't get. I'm not getting you started.
I would have to say that's a good call.
Yes, that was a good call.
Bring up Pete Weidewitsch. 2 for 3 with an RBI double in the 5th. Now with 2 out and runners at first and second.
Pitch a little low in the dirt. Nice stop by Tom Newman.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. There have
Yes.
been a couple of pitches, and certainly with this many pitches thrown by Drexler, you've got to expect some of them are going to be in the dirt. But he hasn't, I don't think he's let one get by him yet. This one hit right back up the middle. High bounce over the head of Hughes, and that will bring Peters around to score, and it will hold Baglien up at third.
We have seen 3 of those come off the bats of the Mustangs that really should have been outs, that hit a spot either on the mound or as that one did in the infield, that it's just a bad bounce.
And Hughes looked to have that one no problem.
Oh,
and then it took a lot higher bounce than he thought it would.
Hit a rock.
He jumped up and just over his outstretched hand, and that allowed a good speedy Andy Peters to come around from second base.
And that certainly is a tough situation for the Cardinals. Only trailing by a run at this point, 4-3. Giving that 5th run up puts them in a little deeper of a hole.
Tony Bolio at the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Watch his ball 1 low. Fastball down the middle, strike 1.
You can see on Chad Drexler's face too as he came covering the plate on that play that certainly was not happy with the situation, trying to get out of this inning.
That one popped straight up in the infield, and Olson calls it off and makes the grab.
But unfortunately for the Cardinals, they give up another run, trailing now 5-3. They're gonna have to get the sticks going now to get back into this game. Grassley is back on the mound, continuing his pitching today.
So 2 hits, 2 left on, and 1 came across in the top of the 6th for Mounds View. And now trailing by 2, the Cardinals have their work cut out for them.
Well, they certainly do at this point, but you know, we've seen him hit the ball, and that's something that obviously they're going to have to continue to try and figure out Grassley at this point, but certainly only trailing by 2. There's plenty of opportunities for them to get back to this game.
Another 20-plus inning. You always got to love it when the umpire comes to the announcers to ask what inning it is.
Oh, I thought he said, "What's the score?"
Yeah, the Cardinals are winning 7-2.
Yeah, you just called the game.
It's 10-run roll. Cardinals win.
7-2, 10-run whirl.
Cardinals win 17-5.
Remember, you just threw the pitcher out. Are you forgetting?
You just said that 8 of their players couldn't play. Anyways, back to
anything to fill in time before the batter gets in the box.
In between innings.
Danny Anderson's going to be the first hitter for the Cardinals.
$134 pitches.
That is a lot.
6 innings. So Dan Anderson will lead things off, and he's 1 for 1. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning. Singled in the 1st, but left stranded at 3rd. So he's been stranded both times he's gotten to the plate, once at 3rd, once at 2nd. And I'm guessing he not only wants to get a hit, but would like to come around. Watches strike 1. Watches strike 2, and he turned to question that call, but then thought better of it. Not very often that you get the ump to change it, and he takes a cut at that one. Popped up to the right side of the infield. Getting under it is CERONSKY, and he makes the first out in the inning.
And Danny swung at a high pitch on that particular opportunity and got underneath the ball, popping it out to second base. Not happy with himself.
We'll bring up JUBRIL AKINWALE. He's
big at bat last time.
1 for 2 with a 2 RBI single in the 3rd. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd. Watches ball 1. Fastball down the middle, leaving the count at 1-1.
Real looked like he was going to maybe think about swinging at that, but watched it go by.
Probably would have been a good one.
Yes, it would have.
Fastball down the pipe.
Look how you like.
Here's another one. This one taken deep to left field. Going back for it is Andy Peters, and he makes the grab just before the fence.
Nice play by Peters out in left field as he tracked that ball down. Knowing the fence was just about there, but he was able to bring it in. JUBRIL gave that ball a ride.
I thought we might see our first home run of the game.
It was probably one of the closest that we've seen.
So far today.
So far today.
That is correct. That will bring up Joey Olson with 2 out and nobody on. Olson is 0 for 2. Grounded out in the 2nd and flew out to left in the 3rd. Cardinals have gone 3 up and 3 down in the last 2 innings. Trying not to do that here in the 6th. Olson watches ball 1. And he watches ball 2.
Good eye by Olson as he's patient at the plate.
At the same time, he watches strike 1.
It's good to watch the balls go by, but not the strikes.
Well, if it's a 3-0 pitch.
Well, if it's a 3-0 pitch, you're right. You got to pretty much take that.
That one cut to GENUNG at short. His throw is in time, and the Cardinals once again go 3 up and 3 down. We'll be back with the 7th inning after this.
This is going to be a real test.
And they're off.
They're really into it.
Jenny takes the lead to page 2.
Uh-oh, Johnny's eyes are offsides.
He's back on sides. Good call on Johnny's part.
Oh, looks like forward passing going on.
Let's look at that again.
No, she'll be completing this one on her own.
So get it in your head. Next time you're tempted to cheat, don't. Do the work. Take the test. Listen to the ref in your head.
Cheating is a personal foul.
Welcome back as you take a look at Ryan Wilson, who has moved from right field to the pitcher's mound for the 7th and final inning.
We also have Matt Molitor out in right field, taking over for Ryan Wilson. The only 2 changes for the Cardinals, top of the 7th.
Well, Gronlund, top of the 6th. Replaced Patterson.
In this inning is what I meant. Only 2 changes in the top of the 7th.
Ah,
there you go.
Okay. I'll agree with that. Ball 1 to GENUNG to lead off the 7th inning. And ball 2. And we will see if the Cardinals, or the Mustangs rather, can get their leadoff man aboard for the 7th straight inning. And the odds are certainly in their favor, as the first 3 pitches are balls, all 3 low.
Well, Wilson's having a little bit of trouble finding his location here as he starts off this inning.
And he walks the first batter in 4 pitches.
Well, that's certainly something Coach Coe obviously did not want to see. Him put that leadoff runner aboard on a free pass.
7 innings, 7 leadoff runners aboard, 4 of them by walk.
Yeah, that is something you can't do. You cannot put the leadoff runner on and expect to hold it every time. Wayne Lundstrom brushing the plate off a little bit, making sure it's clean.
Bring up Josh Howard.
Nope.
Are they gonna? I think they're making some substitutions.
They are. Number 10.
They are. Number 10.
That is Tom Hausch. Number 10 is going to bat.
Tom Hausch coming in for Joe DOERER. And he's another lefty. And they're also putting in a base runner. Putting in, looks like Scott Schrout is in to pinch run for GENUNG. That one in the dirt and behind Newman. He quickly grabs it and gets back up, but not before the batter is able to advance. Who is that?
Schrout. Scott Schrout. Eric Hughes came in, charged in from second base because looking at the bunt attempt. Wolf came over to cover the second base, but obviously the ball got by. Seen a lot of low pitches by Ryan Wilson here.
5 pitches thrown, 5 balls, all low. He fakes the move to second. And now throws the pitch. Ripped foul down the third base line.
That first pitch that Wilson has thrown that the batters were able to take a cut at.
It was a good fastball right down the middle. May have caught Hausch by surprise. Did get a good cut on it, but well foul. 1-1. This one in the dirt, 2-1.
Olson just struggling with his control right now. Just can't get that location across. And that's frustrating for a pitcher because the more you go at that, the more frustrated and upset you become with yourself.
That one is in for strike 2 to even the count.
Must have heard me.
All those words of encouragement from Howie Shapiro.
Well, we certainly try and encourage, but
that one will make the count full at 3-2. And here's the big pitch. Right down the middle, Hausch cuts it into left. Anderson coming in on it, makes the catch for out number 1.
looks like we're going to have Ryan Herman come in to bat for CERONSKY.
They're just changing everybody up here in the
they're getting
7th inning.
Opportunity to see some other batters at this point.
Herman watches ball 1 low. And a swing and a miss. Even the count.
Wilson threw a little heat getting that by him. Herman taking the big cut and missing.
Quite a different delivery between Drexler and Wilson as well. Wilson throwing much more of a sidearm. This one chopped to second base. And this time, Hughes is very careful about the bounce and gets it over to Gronlund for the second out of the inning. And it looks like Andy Peters will stay batting in leadoff.
Coach Cole coming out to the mound, have a little talk with Ryan Wilson and Tom Newman. Scott Schrout, the runner on base at third for Mounds View.
Peters at the plate is 2 for 3 with 2 singles, stolen base and a run. He's also walked. Actually, he's got 2 runs. Walked and he came across twice.
Certainly a force on the base path.
Ooh, good fastball catches Peters swinging for strike 1.
Ryan getting a little bit of his location now, getting a little settled down here. Able to throw the ball over for strikes. Coach Cole bringing the outfield in a little bit.
That's a good fastball, just missed the outside, ball 1.
Just bringing Dan Anderson in a little bit from left field.
Swung at 1 low, strike 2.
See how shallow Dan Anderson is in left field. Coach Cole really brought him in quite a bit towards the infield.
And strike 3 will end the inning. So a walk to start the inning, a little bit scary for Wilson on the plate. He threw his first 5 pitches in the dirt, but then he recovers nicely and takes him down 1-2-3. But the Cardinals have 2 runs. They trail by 2 runs going into the last half of the inning.
Well, Joe, it's time for the Cardinals to put their rally caps on here because this is the opportunity for them to get back into this game. You can see the Mustangs 5 runs, 11 hits, 3 errors, and the Cardinals 3 runs, 5 hits, and an error. And there's the last strikeout, Ryan Wilson getting the ball past Peters. Our next coverage will be Friday, the April 28th. Girls softball, Coon Rapids will travel to Anoka to play the Tornadoes. And you can see replays will be Friday at midnight, Saturday 1, 8, and midnight. Coon Rapids, the Cardinals looking to get their first win, girls softball team.
151 pitches in the game for the Cardinals pitchers.
It's a good thing I brought that calculator for you, Joe.
That's better than 20 pitches an inning.
Kersley today has thrown 90 pitches, 60 of which have been strikes, and he's looking to get the complete game here. Certainly, when the Cardinals scored, they run a little bit shaky, but he's settled down. Cardinals not been able to get the bats going in the last couple of innings.
Cardinals have gone 3 up and 3 down in the last 3 innings. Ryan Wilson leading off in the 7th. He is 0 for 2. Fouls that one back. Joel Rumpsch. Ooh, called strike 2. And Ryan didn't agree with that one too much.
Ryan looked like he was backing off a little bit from that pitch, but it was called a strike.
1 and 2. That one, nice drive into center field for a leadoff hit.
That's certainly what you want to do when you're trying to start a rally, is get your leadoff hitter on base.
That'll bring Joel Rumpsch to the plate. He's in replacement of Tom Newman.
Coach Co obviously wants to see what he can do about strengthening the batting order here.
And Rumpsch is really one of the players they want to get on base. Oh, a nice drive to left field. It's going to get over the head, and Wilson rounds second. He's getting waved around. Nope, he's going to stop, and Rumpsch is on second. A good double to left center field. And like I said, Rumpsch is the guy they want on base because he is one of the fastest players on the roster, and now he represents the tying run on second base with no outs in the bottom of the 7th. Dustin Wolf coming to the plate and really
drove that pitch deep.
All the Cardinals need here is a good single into the outfield to tie this game up.
Peter's playing actually up a little bit in the outfield there, and Rumpsch was able to put that ball well past him. And it was a good opportunity. Coach Co really made a nice play by stopping the runner from coming home, because the ball was into the infield by the time he was at third base. Ryan Wilson stopping at third base.
Dustin Wolf is 1 for 3 with a single in the 3rd inning, an RBI single. He has scored on that one single as well. Swings at pitch 1 for a strike.
He certainly was going for that pitch, no doubt about it. But Cardinals trying to get something going here in the bottom of the 7th.
That one chopped short, and the play at the plate, and Wilson is called out.
Nice throw in. Get him at the plate.
So the Cardinals with runners at 1st and 2nd now.
Take another look at this opportunity as the throw comes into the plate. He's going to attempt to slide right underneath, but he got him just around on the back, just as he was able to curl his hand around. But nice call. Here's another look at it.
The plate.
He's sweeping tag, gets him there before he was able to put his hand on the base.
And it's a very nice play by Brad Baglien and also Dan GENUNG, the shortstop. The 0-1 pitch. Hughes swings, strike 2. Chad Drexler on deck, now hitting as a DH, as he has been taken off the mound, but he is certainly a power hitter for the Cardinals. Curveball catches Hughes swinging for out number 2. So the Cardinals, with the tying run at first base, are 1 out away. They have 1 out left.
Coach Cole coming over to say something to Wayne Lundstrom. I think it was just the instructions that Drexler was re-entering as the designated hitter.
Adam Gronlund on deck. And Drexler is 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a ground out, and a double play ball. So he is due. He watches strike one.
Grassley throws that pitch by him.
That one is high, 1-1. Fastball into right, and Rumsch will round third. He is on his way home. The slide at third, and here's a chance. The wild throw got away, and in comes Wolf with the tying run, and Drexler slides in at third. This game is tied up in the bottom of the seventh.
Talk about an exciting play, opportunistic. They take advantage of some throwing errors, tie this game up, and boy, that is very exciting play. Drexler extremely excited on that play. Goes all the way to third on those throwing errors. And that certainly disappointing on the part of the Mounds View Mustangs because they thought they had that with 2 away. Here's the first runs as Rumsch comes in.
And then a bad throw to the third baseman, got behind him, and everybody got really excited. Dustin Wolf coming in. Adam Gronlund, strike one. We may be going to extra innings.
We may be, you're absolutely right. And you can see Coach go with the sign to Chad Drexler to down for the slide at third base.
Outside evens this count at 1-1.
A lot of pressure here on Adam Gronlund. If he can get a base hit, that would win the game for the Cardinals.
Ball 2. And if he can get on base with a walk,
that would be good too.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Dan Anderson, also a player that's kind of due. 2-2 is on deck.
Grassley has that deceiving pitch. Looks like the ball is coming a little bit outside, and it just curves right into the center of the home plate.
There's a look at the winning run on third base, Chad Drexler. And that one hit right back to Grassley and an easy out. And we're going to inning number 8. The Cardinals come up big with 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th to tie it. We'll force extra innings. We'll see those extra innings right after this.
What should you do to stop a friend from driving drunk? Whatever you have to.
Look at Ryan Wilson on the mound for the Cardinals, hoping to have a little better start to this inning. He's had a better chance to get warmed up, obviously. He didn't have a lot of chance to warm up before his 7th inning appearance. And after a rough start, he picked it up quite nicely.
He really did, and there was no damage caused by his rough start. And obviously, the Cardinals down to the last out rallied back to tie this game up, and it's a whole new ball game. We're starting off fresh. Momentum is switched to the favor of the Cardinals.
But at this point, it's a whole new ball game.
I think you're right, Joe.
All new ball game.
Josh Howard's going to lead it off for the Mustangs.
He's 0 for 3 with a walk and a run. Good fastball down the middle, strike one. And that's a little bit better start for Wilson in this inning.
Absolutely. He's got his location down right now. A lot better than he started off last inning.
And that was the ball, but high instead of low.
Right. He's not throwing him in the dirt, which he was originally.
That one inside, 2-1. Once again, I hear the calls of Howie. Let's go, Howie.
I'm not falling for it this time, though. Someone will throw something at my head, maybe then get my attention. But right now, I'm not falling for it. Not you throwing it.
Ooh, that one just a little bit high. Ball 3. 3-1.
Don't want to put the leadoff run on again.
Strike on the inside corner. Will make the count 3-2.
Painted the corner on that play. That pitch, I mean.
This one driven to right, and it's going to go foul.
I think we
Good
have
contact on that, though.
I think we have Chad Drexler out in right field right now.
Ah, yes. We are getting the word from the truck about the Champlin Park
No, we don't.
hockey game, and I'm sorry, but
seven overtimes.
I'm sorry, we can't go to that many overtimes because we have no lights here. This one ripped to the left side. It's going to bounce over and be in for a single. And once again, the leadoff runner is aboard for Champlin Park.
No, you mean for Mounds View.
Mounds
You've got Champlin Park on the brain right now.
Champlin Park on the brain. That is correct. I am worried.
Joe's thinking about that 7 overtime game, and now he's lost it.
And you know, after working that, I went straight to my other job.
You're just a Superman.
Workaholic is more closer to the correct term. First pitch is in for a strike. Again, Stan Eustace, he's 2 for 4 with an RBI, single, a double, and a run. And this one hit to Gronlund. He gets it, and the double play. Absolutely gorgeous. The 3-6-3 double play.
Heads up play by Adam Gronlund. He starts that DP. Nice pickup throw over to second and back on time for the nice stretch. Record the double play.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
Now, see, you know, when we started doing baseball, I never would have known what 3-6-3 meant.
All right.
But this is 3-6-3. And beautifully done. Adam Gronlund, quick trigger, quick glove. And like you said, that stretch. And I'm guessing that being a goalie helps him out with that. That was just like a kick save in the corner. And he remembers that game against Champlin Park. And first pitch for Baglien is driven into center field for a single.
Yeah, going back to 3-6-3, you used to think that was a start of a phone number, didn't you?
I still kind of think it's start of a phone.
Okay, I thought so.
But Adam Gronlund remembers that 7 overtime game, and certainly he doesn't want to repeat it either.
No, and he had obviously a phenomenal game.
Phenomenal.
In that. Yep.
Incredible.
Both goaltenders.
Both
that
goaltenders.
Night.
If it hadn't been for the goaltenders, it would have ended in probably the first overtime, if it had even gotten to overtime. First pitch catches the outside corner, strike one to Pete WEIDEWITSCH.
Well, certainly that was a big double play considering that Baglien got on.
3 for 4 with 2 RBI. This one popped up on the left side, going foul, and will be strike 2. He's 3 for 4 with 2 singles and a double and 2 RBIs, but he's been stranded on base each and every time.
It's a lonely time when you're stranded on base.
Furthest he's gotten is third base. Got to third base when he hit the double. He's been stranded on first the other 2 times. That one, a good pitch, made WEIDEWITSCH stretch and foul it off to stay alive, still 0-2. That one a little low and outside, ball 1. Newman quickly up to check the runner. BAGLIEN at first.
At this point, you can't be too worried about the runner. You certainly don't want to throw the ball away. You want to worry about getting the batter out with 2 away.
But, you know, in all honesty, if you got somebody guarding first base, nobody better than Adam Gronlund.
Absolutely.
You know, if he just thinks it's a 6 foot by 4 foot area behind him, he's going to stop it.
But you do not
By the way,
want to throw the ball away.
6 foot by 4 foot is the dimensions of a hockey net, in case you didn't know. See, that kind of thing I know. It's this 363 that.
A phone number.
Yeah, that's the stuff that's new to me.
WEIDEWITSCH calling it time.
2 away, runner on first base here in the top of the 8th inning. And for those of you who are used to a 9-inning ball game, this is not. This is extra innings at the high school ranks. And that one, ooh, hit right back up the middle. Hughes recovers, gets it over to Gronlund for the out, and that one almost took out Ryan Wilson, but at the same time, he almost grabbed that one.
Yeah, he really did, and the bounce went right to Hughes. Obviously, a good bounce at that.
Hughes was a little surprised, I think. He went, my God, this one actually came to me and didn't bounce over my head, which has happened numerous occasions today.
And now we're going to see with the Cardinals. They rallied in the bottom half of the 7th. Let's see if they can rally again the bottom half of the 8th and win this ball game. We have a new pitcher for Mounds View, number 14.
Is that his name?
Nick Wagner. No, it's not his name. Old number 14, throwing that heat. I remember well, number 14. I remember when he used to be number 7.
Oh, Howie, you are a stitch, let me tell you. Well, we've got predictions.
Predictions from the truck.
We're
not saying it. We don't want to say it.
I'm not going to say it.
No,
that would be a jinxing situation.
That would be, and we don't want to jinx them because this is the inning that they need to do it. Go home with a victory and a big victory at that. It would be.
Dan Anderson, the leadoff hitter, and as I mentioned in the last inning, he's kind of due. He's 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning, and he singled in the 2nd, and he flew out to second base in the 6th. So Dan's usually someone you can count on for at least a couple of hits in a ball game. So this could be the time.
So in other words, he's due.
I believe I used that term
yeah,
even.
He's due. Now we'll see what Wagner has to offer here.
AKINWALE and OLSON also due up this inning. We'll see what Wagner has. The left-handed pitcher, first pitch taken right back to second. CERONSKY over to Bolio for out number 1.
I'll just give you a hint. One of the predictions in the truck did not come true.
No. You are wrong. It was either batter 2 or 3. Or, well, maybe I'm wrong then.
You're wrong.
Yeah, we've been. I've been corrected. I was
You've
wrong.
been corrected.
AKINWALE watches strike 1. He is 1 for 3 with a long single that scored 2 runs. And this one not so lucky as he grounds out to shortstop.
Now the truck is definitely wrong. That's the last predictions we'll take from the truck.
I'll bring up Joey Olson. He's 0 for 3. Reached on, didn't reach on the fielder's choice in the 2nd. Flew out to left in the 3rd. And he hit to the 6-3 ground out in the 6th. First pitch chopped up to the pitcher. Quick turn throw. And we're going to inning number 9. Stick around. We've got extra innings flying by at Coon Rapids Field.
What's wrong, Mrs. Jenkins?
Oh.
Come on, you can tell me.
Well, there's no funding for the new reading program, and I've tried everything and nothing works. It's not fair. Nobody ever gives me funding.
When adults run out of ideas, they can feel as frustrated as kids. ConnectForKids.org has thousands of resources for helping kids in your community.
Mrs. Jenkins, holding your breath is not going to get you any more funding.
ConnectForKids.org, guidance for grown-ups.
Look at Ryan Wilson back on the mound, continuing extra innings.
I'm getting a little worried here.
Why are you getting worried? You're running out of space?
That's right. Yeah, now, how late do you go when you don't have lights at the ballpark?
Until it gets dark. Dusk.
Dusk. I would almost call this dusk.
Let's get about 8 o'clock, I think. Yeah, and then that's about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I think that that game is then called.
Tony Bolio will lead things off. Dan GENUNG and Tom Hausch also due up this inning for the Mustangs. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. He watches ball 1. Still, through 8 innings, the leadoff runner has been on base each and every inning for Mounds View.
We are going for a record.
But that one fouled up, out of play, strike 1. The entire Mounds View team is on their feet in the dugout as Bolio puts a can of corn into short center field. Hughes going back, makes the catch, and there's one away.
Well, it's the first inning. The leadoff hitter has not been on. And I want to know, is that a can of creamed corn? Or just those little niblets?
I'm not quite sure. I did not invent the term.
Yes, they figured maybe you knew.
It could be a, see, I'm thinking if it was creamed corn, I'm thinking that's going a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Because then it would have gotten creamed.
It would have gotten creamed. I understand that.
This, I believe, was whole kernel.
It was the whole. It was those little niblets.
Those little niblets. Dan GENUNG at the plate with 1 out and nobody on. He is 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single. He's walked twice. First pitch to Eric Hughes to Gronlund for out number 2.
Now that time for Eric Hughes, it took a nice bounce.
Yeah, he liked that one.
He did like that one.
And it looks like Joe DOERER is back.
He's back.
After Hausch batted in the 7th.
Still have a little peak of sunshine, as you can see on the infield.
Hausch is 0 for 2 with a walk. Or DOERER, rather. That one fouled back. And what happens if they run out of balls?
I saw a whole crate of tennis balls over there. They could start using.
Yeah, if they start using, this is going to be a real high-scoring game. They start using tennis balls. Another one fouled back and make it 1 and 2. Just outside, ball 2.
DOERER was a little bit tempted to go after that pitch. Thought better
and you know,
of it.
as I think as this game has actually gone on and we've gotten a little later, we've actually accumulated more fans.
Well, you got to remember, the games got over. There was a JV on the next field between the Cardinals and Mounds View. And this is just an exciting game. I mean, certainly one to be watching.
Oh, a swing and a miss, strike 3. And that is the first time Mounds View has gone 3 up and 3 down in tonight's game.
And no better time to do that, as the Cardinals can get an opportunity now to see if they can put a run across here in this bottom of the 9th inning.
175 pitches thrown by Cardinal pitchers.
It's a lot.
Yep.
There's a lot.
Yep, it is. But not a bad pitch count so far for Ryan Wilson. He's got, it looks like about 41. No, 41 through 3 innings. So not too bad.
Not too bad at all. And speaking of Ryan Wilson, I think he is going to be the first batter of this inning. So look at that last strikeout by Wilson as he gets Doerr swinging.
And I believe that's his first strikeout of the night. Yes, it is. Nope, second strikeout.
Nick Wagner back still on the mound for the Mustangs. His second inning of work.
Yes, Wilson is, what? 1 for 3 with a single, a strikeout, ground out. And he was tagged out at home plate in the slide there. That was tough.
That was tough.
It's tough. That would have kept us from
extra innings. Is that what you're gonna say? I knew that.
Would have kept us from this second extra inning. Inning number 9, bottom of the 9th. Tie game 5-5. Cardinals trying to take the victory away. Ryan Wilson swings at the first pitch, strike 1.
Tom Newman on deck.
That one hit right back to Wagner.
Look what I have.
For the easy out.
Look what I found. That does bring Tom Newman to the plate. He's had a nice game behind the plate catching for the Cardinals today. Made a number of nice stops. Nick Wagner is going to tie his shoe. This game isn't long enough. He's got to stop and tie his shoe.
So far, Newman is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. And Wagner has not been deep into account at all. He got out of that out of that 8th inning with 4 pitches.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm impressed, Howie.
Yeah, I know well.
1-0.
That's what a college degree will do for you.
That one ripped to the left side of the infield. GENUNG to BAGLIEN for out number 2.
That'll bring up Dustin Wolf, shortstop for the Cardinals. 2-out rally.
That's right. Dustin Wolf came in as the tying run in the bottom of the 7th. Was able to reach home on an error. He's 1 for 4. He reached in the 7th actually on a fielder's choice.
There's a
nice shot in the gap between first and second, and he is aboard with a single.
What are we talking about? 2-run rally or 2-out rally?
To bring up Eric Hughes. You don't need 2 runs.
No, I know. I meant you heard what I said.
2-out.
2-out rally.
Rally. That would be cool.
A 2-out rally would be good.
Eric Hughes at the plate. He's 2 for 4. Pair of strikeouts, pair of singles. 1 run scored. First pitch, right to Bolio. He tags up, and we're going to the 10th inning. Stick around. This one ain't over yet.
Save a place for me me. In your heart, in your heart.
Every year, the United Negro College Fund helps thousands of students go to college. But for everyone we help, there's one we can't. Please support the United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
So look at some of the softball players sitting over there on the first base line. Taking in the game as the sun is getting close to set. As we enter.
The sun is sinking in the west. Now we'll see what Ryan Wilson has this inning. CERONSKY is going to lead off. Wilson's thrown 42 pitches, 25 have been strikes. After starting off a little bit shaky, he's really pitched a pretty good number of innings.
CERONSKY is 0 for 3.
There's a strike.
Slider gets outside a little bit.
A little flinch by CERONSKY. Should I go for it or should I not?
That one to the left side. Wolf to Gronlund for out number 1.
Nice throw from the hole by Dustin Wolf.
And that was kind of deep in the hole, too.
Yes, it was.
Joey Olson bring up Andy Peters.
Joey Olson thought about going for it, realized that it was Dustin's ball, and got out of the way. So we take a look at that again as a nice throw from Dustin. Watch Joey Olson duck a little bit. A nice play here by Adam Gronlund at first base to stretch out for the ball.
Once again, it's a
goaltender.
It's like a shot going for the upper left-hand corner. Gronlund said, no good.
No good. Stay out of the goal. Stay away from it.
That one ripped foul off behind the third base line.
Andy Peters 2 for 4 today. A couple of singles, couple of runs scored.
He also walked, struck out, grounded out. This one hit to Eric Hughes. The throw to Gronlund for out number 2.
Innings are getting a little bit quicker here.
And Eric Hughes is just so happy that they're actually not bouncing over his head. They're not taking these weird high bounces off the pitcher's mound or anything, or off small rocks. Either way, brings up Josh Howard. Watch us strike 1. He is 1 for 4 with a walk, a run, a single. He's flown out to first base twice and struck out in the third. This one bounces off the pitcher's mound.
Another one of those crazy hops. Jeez. How many of those can you have in a game?
I'm not sure. I think we've reached our limit, though. At least for Moundsville.
I thought their limit was up about 1 or 2 ago, but apparently not.
I think the Cardinals deserve one of those.
I agree with you.
Don Eustace at the plate last time up, hit into the double play. Don't need that now with 2 outs and 1 man out. Fastball hit to Eric Hughes. He'll take this one to Gronlund, and we're going to the bottom of the 10th.
He was getting a workout out there at second base. Ryan Wilson calling a little team meeting there, getting his teammates fired up here as we move on to. We could, Joe, we could do an entire Sports Night show just on this game.
Just on the hits in this game.
Just on the hits in this game. But as usual, we'll have plenty of highlights Tuesday night from this and many other sports Softball, golf, tennis,
Who
track.
says we'll do any other sports? Why do we need any other? We got this game, right?
Yeah, well, we did. Hey, you know what? We could be here till Tuesday.
Don't say that. My other job would get upset.
Yeah.
They might even fire me. I'm not quite sure. They might.
You're just writing from the field.
That's right. Send them in from here.
That's right. Well,
Chad Drexler, Adam Gronlund, and Dan Anderson due up in the bottom of the 10th. Anderson, or Drexler rather, with the big two-run double in the bottom of the 7th, which tied the game. That was his last at bat. Cardinals have gone 3 up, and no, they did get a hit in the 9th. But Wagner's been out there for 2 innings. How many pitches has he thrown, Howie?
10.
Good call. It's absolutely correct. 10 pitches.
10 pitches.
Trying to think if the Cardinals have. Yeah, there's 3 innings out of 10 that they've had 10 or less pitches in 1 inning.
In 1 inning. He's at 10 and 2.
That's correct.
Now we'll see an opportunity for Chad Drexler here, see what he can do. Get this rally going.
Now, see, if Chad could just hit a home run, we could say game over.
We could. Well, he hit one last game. There's a special place in our heart for a home run right here.
Not going to hold my breath. That pitch is low and inside for ball 1.
Especially since it'd be hard for you to talk and hold your breath at the same time.
Might be. Drexler is 1 for 4. As I mentioned, he had the 2 RBI double in the 7th. That went ball high, 2-0. Hit into the double play in the 5th. Struck out in the 3rd and grounded out to short in the 1st. Check swing, ball 3 low, 3-0.
Now, if this one's down the plate, will he take it or will he go for the fences on this one? Because this one is going to be over. Of course, you don't want to throw up a home run ball here to Chad Drexler. Obviously, he's a hitter that can put one out.
Now, unlike, he's on base in 4 pitches.
Now, certainly a good start to this inning. Get your leadoff hitter on.
Gronlund is 0 for 1 with a ground out right back to the pitcher in the 7th inning.
With a runner at 3rd, too.
That is correct. With Drexler at 3rd, as a matter of fact. He watches ball 1. And Wagner, although certainly should be fresh, only throwing 10 pitches in the first 2 innings he was on the mound, hasn't thrown a strike yet this inning.
He's rattled.
That's a strike and swung on and fouled back, 1-1. Gronlund with the bunt, and it's bobbled. And then the bad throw will bring Drexler to 3rd. Gronlund will stay at 1st. So I think you call that a double error.
A double error.
A double error on the bunt means the Cardinals have runners at the corners with nobody out.
Well, obviously the bunt was back to Wagner and plenty of time for him to go to 2nd, but mishandling the ball, obviously allowing Drexler to get to 3rd. That's a costly error as he threw the bat at the ball on that one.
A pair of errors, because there is error number 1 on the bobble.
He knew he wasn't going to get Drexler at that point.
And then a bad throw. And I guess I gave Bolio the 2nd error, but I'm going to have to charge Wagner with it.
Absolutely, and now we're having a little conference at the mound as Chris Schwartz.
Absolutely, they are, as Dan Anderson is at the plate with 2 runners on and nobody out. JUBRIL AKINWALE on deck.
At this point, even a fly ball at this point, deep enough to the outfield, will score a run and end this game.
Now, see, to me, I think you go for the double steal. You send Gronlund. Gronlin's certainly not as fast as Drexler is.
No.
You get Gronlin stuck in that squeeze play, and maybe they forget that they have a runner at third base.
I personally think that if Gronlin leaves from first to second, they'll let him get there.
You think?
Yeah, I think. I think they'll say, go ahead. In fact, they may help him get there.
Yeah, they're actually not going to leave Gronlin on.
They walked pass ball to Dan Anderson, or a free pass anyway. So now that
I didn't know they. I thought you needed to at least throw the 4 balls.
Well, they figure about time limit, you know. Let's send them down there.
So
high school, you don't have to throw it, Joe.
Huh?
You can just say I put the runner on.
So that will take away the double steal idea. And JUBRIL AKINWALE at the plate.
That's probably a good idea. That
no outs and the bases juiced.
Mounds, you putting Danny Anderson on first base. Just taking the stick out of his hand alone, I think, was a good call.
Yeah. And I don't know necessarily if putting JUBRIL at the plate was a good idea. He is only 1 for 4 today, but a 2 RBI single in the third.
Oof. He went for that. The thing is, I think he's got the power, obviously, to put it to the outfield. And, I mean, that's all they need at this point with nobody out. Just give it a ride to the outfield. He's going to score Drexler from third, and this game will be over.
That's right. Deep fly ball. And I can go home.
Have dinner. Go to sleep.
Have some dinner. That one fouled off the right field line, will be out of play.
Nope.
Joey Olson is on deck. Ryan Wilson due up behind him, if we need to get that deep. And there it is. Deep to center field. Drexler's tagging up, and here he comes. Long, good throw to the plate.
That's safe.
But he's safe, and this game is over.
Beautiful opportunity. Drexler really just had his foot on the bag, was going to go all along, and that was it was a nice throw coming in, but he beat it to the plate. Nice slide, and the Cardinals beat Mounds View in this exciting game.
Great game. It went 10 innings. Wow. Very, very close play at the plate as well. You don't get much more exciting than that, Howie.
No, definitely not. It was a beautiful throw, but a nice slide around to avoid the tag.
Yeah.
And he beats that.
Beautiful slide. Now you take a less experienced base runner who slides straight for the base.
He would have been out.
They may have been out.
No, definitely.
But a great job by everyone involved. Drexler with a great slide to get in. It was actually a great throw from Eustace and a great attempt by Baglien. And but the Cardinals come away with it.
Absolutely, and that's going to put the Cardinals record at 2-1 and drop Mounds View to 5-1, their first defeat of the year.
We're going to take a look at that one more time. The play at the plate, a great throw from Eustace. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better throw, and a great slide by Drexler. Baglien made a great diving attempt, but Drexler certainly got to the plate first. A good call by the umpires. I've got to say, they did an excellent job tonight.
They certainly did.
And the Cardinals did an excellent job in the face of adversity. They're down by 2.
With 2 outs.
With 2 outs going into the bottom of the 7th. But it doesn't faze them. They bring those runners home, tie the game up, go through a couple, 2.5 extra innings with no score, and then load the bases with no outs in the bottom of the 10th, and a good deep drive from JUBRIL AKINWALE. The sacrifice fly brings home on a great slide, as we've seen a couple of times, Chad Drexler, and certainly a game that Mounds View shouldn't hold their heads down about.
No, absolutely not. And you know what, Joe? As the season progresses, a preview of what things could come in the playoffs between these two squads.
Well, the Cardinals are 2-1. We thank you all for joining us. We'd love to give you some post-game, but we're just about out of tape. So Join us next time. We'll be doing the softball game, Cardinals and Anoka, on Friday. Thanks for watching. For everyone, for Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Yon. Good night, everybody.